Okay.
Is your daughter Amanda?
Yes.
I was in one of her classes last year.
Oh,
She wrote
really?
about you.
Oh, what's your name?
Maddie.
Maddie, I'm Tony. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Wait, oh, okay. I remember the class. She came out with, she had to. It was
She
for.
like followed,
Right. And we went
immersion
outside the police
journalism.
department. And
Yeah.
so, what did you think about all that?
It was really cool. I liked it.
Oh, really?
It was much different. Like, well, everybody's papers were so different, but I thought it was very neat that she just wrote about that.
Yeah.
It was really good.
So, do you have any particular spiritual beliefs?
I'm Jewish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you practice that faith? Because I know that there are some Jewish people who are very religious, and there are others who are more nationalistic, not necessarily religious, but of course
Like
their
a cultural
heritage
thing.
is Jewish.
So, there's some spirituality with it.
Yeah.
Well, like I only have one parent who is.
Okay.
But my dad's side of the family, they're fairly religious. Like, I guess they could be considered conservative when
Okay.
it comes to Judaism.
Uh-huh.
And but my dad, he just told me that he's made peace with God. So that's all I
Okay.
really know about it.
Yeah. So what does Maddie think is going to happen to her when she dies? What does Maddie believe?
Well, when I went on my birthright trip, I think one of the
I'm sorry, when you went to your...
birthright trip.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, every Jewish person, truly Jewish person, doesn't the nation of Israel provide like a free trip to the homeland? Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It's crazy.
I've been to Israel, and there were a number of people on my flight
Oh, yeah.
that were doing just that. So that's
Yeah,
fascinating.
there's a lot of kids,
okay.
yeah. What would they say? So they said like Jews, they don't believe in hell or something, but like my mother's a Christian, so I'm very well aware. But
Okay.
still figuring that out. I guess.
Okay. All right. So then for Maddie, then when you do die and stand before your Creator, if he were to ask you, Maddie, why should I allow you into my heaven? What would you say?
What would I say?
Yeah.
I don't know. What would I say? I wouldn't say necessarily because Jesus Christ is my savior, because in Judaism they don't necessarily believe in like the second part, even though there are Jews who do that kind of thing. But I don't really know. I recently wrote a project about when I went to Israel and just kind of figuring the in-between grounds of that, because I don't necessarily like to believe that everyone is going to hell, because I think of, especially back in the like really old days when America was like colonized yet, I'm like, well, what happened to the Native Americans who had never been touched by, they hadn't been touched by gun germs or steel yet, and by Christianity. So it's interesting to think about, but I certainly don't hate it.
Yeah.
I think it's very beautiful. But
Well, as a Christian, this is what I believe. I believe that you and I were created by the same God. You and I are image bearers of the same Creator, and as well as every other human being, whether Native American or an Aborigine in the outback of Australia, or South American Indian in jungle somewhere. Every human being was created in the image of God, and God has written His law, 10 Commandments. God has written His law on every human heart. Every human being has a conscience. You and I both know it's wrong to lie. We both know it's wrong to steal.
That's in a lot of like other cultures where there isn't necessarily Christianity as well. So
Right, and and in these cultures that I referred to, right, there is necessarily no mention of Jesus in those cultures. A person standing before God will not face God's wrath because they never heard of Jesus. They will face God's wrath because they've broken His law. God says that the wages of sin is death, that the soul that sins, says in the Old Testament, the soul that sins shall die. Every human being is going to stand before God to give an account for their life. And because all of us have sinned, all of us are guilty before God, regardless of where or when or how we were raised. We've all broken His law in some way. His standard is moral perfection. You, me, and everyone else, we can't live up to that. God has provided only one way for us to escape that just punishment, and that was through the gift of His Son. Jesus Christ. And God the Father, who sent his Son to earth, who was with him in creation, who is with him in eternity. God the Father sent his Son to earth in the person of Jesus Christ, truly God, truly man, without sin. He lived a perfect life from cradle to grave that you and I can't live. And then at a time appointed before the foundation of the world, he voluntarily went to a Roman cross. He suffered and died a death he did not deserve, to take upon himself the punishment you and I rightly deserve for our sins against God. And then he forever defeated sin and death when he rose from the grave. And in fact, it was Jesus who said, I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father but through me. He told one of his disciples, Thomas, he said, if you have seen me, you have seen the Father. Because I and the Father are one.
I think they called him Doubting Thomas, if I remember.
Right,
correctly.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, because Jesus, after his death and burial and after his resurrection, he appeared to his disciples. Thomas wasn't there. And the other disciples said, we have seen the Lord. He is alive. And Thomas said, unless I put my finger in his hands or in his side, I will not believe. At that moment, Jesus appears, not merely as a spirit, but in bodily form. And Thomas drops to his knees and he says, my Lord and my God. So God has provided a way, and it's not by keeping the law, because none of us can do it perfectly. It's not by being a good person, because all of us have fallen short of that standard. And it's not by being religious either. It's not by trying to bribe God through our religious works. Salvation is by grace through faith in Jesus Christ, his Son. That's the good news. That's what me and Amanda believe.
That's so cool, though.
Yeah.
That's what my grandma and my mom, they go to church often. My grandfather was actually a pastor.
Oh, yeah?
So I have heard that, but I think it's beautiful. I'm very in the middle, because I do love my Jewish family. I love the tradition. I love the people, the culture. I was very much raised culturally. I don't speak Hebrew. I should be able to speak. And Spanish, because my dad's from Argentina.
Well, you're still in an age where you can learn.
Still, I'm actually thinking.
You get to my age, it's a lot tougher.
It is.
Yeah.
I know, but thank you for talking.
Yeah.
I have to go to class.
Okay, well, good talking to you too. God bless you. Have a good day, Maddie. I'll let Amanda know that we met.
Tell her, say hi.
I will. Have a good day. God bless you. Have a good day.